After a massive surge in Delhi's COVID-19 cases, the Ministry of Home Affairs has stepped in to help Delhi really cope up with the deteriorating situation. The centre has decided to add 500 beds. This is with oxygen facility to the Chhatarpur COVID Care Centre. The Central Armed Police Force medics would be deployed at various COVID facilities, including the train coaches with 800 beds at Shakarpur Basti Police Station. In addition to that, the centre would also ramp up the current availability of 3,652 ICU beds in the national capital. 10 multidisciplinary teams of MHA would visit 100 private hospitals to assess the bed utilization and testing capacity. This as the capital has reported over 7,500 new cases in the last 24 hours and 98 deaths. Delhi government has asked 90 private hospitals to reserve 60% of their beds for COVID patients. 42 private hospitals have been asked to reserve 80% ICU beds to treat coronavirus patients. So what we're seeing in Delhi is very, very worrying. A massive spike in COVID cases. Even as cases, however, continue to decline in Mumbai, it's bracing also for the dreaded third wave. Here's the tale of two capitals in their fight against the deadly virus, and it's raised many questions concerning the curb ease versus restrictions.
A tale of two cities. India's national capital is witnessing a massive spike in COVID cases, while the financial capital is treading cautiously as it continues to marshal its resources to combat the invisible enemy. Currently, Mumbai is logging less than 1,000 cases daily, while Delhi is witnessing a third wave with over 6,000 to 7,000 coronavirus cases daily. The current infections are proving deadlier for Delhi, while in Mumbai, less than 20 people are succumbing to the virus. In Delhi, the figure has surged from 51 deaths on November 1st to 131 deaths on November 18th. The two cities have handled the pandemic differently. While Delhi was more lenient, the Maharashtra government was strict when it came to easing curbs. Maharashtra opened places of worship only this week. Mumbai bore the brunt of the COVID attack quite early. It had to control the outbreak in the large slum pockets, including Asia's largest cluster, Dharavi.
We had one campaign here in Maharashtra, My Family, My Responsibility. In that campaign, we reach to each and every house, each and every society. We give awareness to all the people, public, and we advise everybody that if you have mild to moderate symptom, go for the test. See, Mumbai is the only capital, or Mumbai is the only city in the world where you don't need prescription paper from doctors for the investigations, for the COVID test.
Even though the medical experts have said that the numbers could rise post-Diwali owing to reverse migration, the administration, especially the Mumbai Municipal Corporation, says that it is geared up for any eventuality.
For Delhi, the surging crowds in markets have proved a recipe for disaster.
The festival season, primarily the festival season, because of that the persons are going to the shopping places for buying something, and of course there is a huge rush in the market and people are not following the guideline Government of India.
While Delhi seems to be in a worse condition, the national capital is testing 4 times more than Mumbai. If you test more, you trace more. The national capital needs to rework its COVID strategy very quickly to ensure the COVID wave doesn't get worse in the days to come. With Pankaj Upadhyay and Kumar Kunal in Delhi, Bureau Report, India Today.
And as we keep our focus firmly on what's happening in the national capital, there's also a lot of politics that's playing out over the coronavirus crisis. You're seeing a rise in cases, and amid that, the BJP and Congress have accused the Arvind Kejriwal-led government of negligence as well as of inaction. BJP State President Adesh Gupta said that if the government had taken timely steps, the situation would not have gone out of hand. Congress, meanwhile, targeted the Delhi government for increasing the fine for not wearing masks from 500 to 2,000 rupees and sought immediate withdrawal of this order. Now, the Kejriwal government, facing heat over its handling of the crisis, has in turn blamed the centre for not delivering on its promise of providing 250 ICU beds in Delhi hospitals. AAP spokesperson Saurabh Bharadwaj also blamed the Uttar Pradesh and Haryana government for failing to manage the COVID crisis. This after he claimed that more than half of the COVID-19 patients admitted in Delhi hospitals are from the neighbouring states, are from Uttar Pradesh and Haryana.
750 बेड्स का ढोल भाजपा
जिस तरह से अरविंद केजरीवाल ने आज प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस करके बगैर मास्क के चालान की जो कीमतें 500 से 2000 कर देना जुर्माना और लोगों से अपील करना कि लोग और पॉलिटिकल पार्टीज मास्क बांटें, कहीं ना कहीं ये पूरी तौर पर दिखाई देता है कि अरविंद केजरीवाल पूरी तरह से फेल साबित हुए, यानी कि सरकार हर मोर्चे पर कोविड के खिलाफ जो लड़ाई लड़ी जा रही है उसमें फेल साबित हुई है। ये तानाशाही जो डिसीजन है कहीं ना कहीं भ्रष्टाचार को बढ़ावा देगा। इस भ्रष्टाचार से 2000 रुपए के फाइन के बाद कौन गारंटी लेगा कि फाइन करने वाला आदमी मोल भाव नहीं करेगा।
Several other cities also are seeing a worrying spike in COVID cases. Similar situation in Ahmedabad, where the city administration has decided to impose weekend curfew from 9 p.m. tonight till 6 a.m. on Monday. During this curfew period, only essentials like milk and medicines shall be allowed to function. The step comes after Ahmedabad reported 207 new cases yesterday. The Gujarat government, meanwhile, has allotted 300 doctors and 300 medical students in government hospitals. Local administration has said that the recent festivities is the reason for the sudden spike in the number of COVID cases, which also led to the imposition of a lockdown. What comes as a game changer really for testing, a team of young Indian scientists have developed a groundbreaking paper-based COVID test. Milind Sharma gets you all the details you need to know about the Falooda test. A major milestone in India's battle against COVID. Developed by CSIR's Premium Institute of Genomic and Integrative Biology, the Falooda paper test promises to nail the virus like its namesake. Satyajit Ray's timeless detective character did to criminals. Developed by Dr. Shouvik Maiti and Dr. Chakrabarti, the test uses saliva or blood. It's cheaper, faster and easier, just like a pregnancy test kit.
This complex is then put on a strip, and this is how a strip actually looks like. If you see over here, the strip has got two lines on the top and at the bottom. So the top line is called a control line, in which basically is there in every strip that you can see over here. On this line, it's telling us if the strip has worked fine, so if the assay has worked fine. And there is a bottom line, which is actually the test line. If this test line is present, then in this case it tells us that the original sample had COVID in it, or the SARS-CoV-2 genetic material, which was the RNA in it. If it is negative, like something like this, then it tells us that there was no presence of that virus there. So this is an example of a positive, and this is an example of a negative.
The team worked on this product for 2 years, but with Wuhan origin pandemic peaking, it was made COVID specific.
In this, we generally add the solution that has this RNP complex in it. That means the CRISPR-Cas9 complex. So control line हमेशा आता है. So control line basically tells, और ये control line within 1 minute you will get. अगर 1 minute से ज़्यादा लगता है, that means it's the negative case generally. It's not that easy कि हमें लगता है कि 2 घंटे से हम 1 घंटे में आ गए बहुत जल्दी, but हमने actually दिन रात मेहनत करके काफी कुछ standardize किया, so that कि हम लोग cost effective बना सके.
The simplicity of the test makes it suitable for use even in small pathological labs.
हम लोगों ने पहले इस पे ट्राई किया कि हम उसको टाइम को कम करें और पैसा मतलब साइड में कॉस्ट भी इफेक्टिव बनाएं. तो टाइम वाज लाइक इनिशियली इट वाज टेकिंग 2.5 hours एज ऑलरेडी टोल्ड यू, बट देन वी स्ट्रगल्ड अ बिट एंड देन हमने उसको ऑप्टिमाइज किया और अच्छे से ऑप्टिमाइज किया. नाउ वी कैन बी श्योर दैट इट कैन वर्क विद इन 45 to 1 hour. कोई भी लैब, कोई भी स्टूडेंट जो हल्का या फिर बेसिक नॉलेज रखता है ऑन पीसीआर एंड देन एम्प्लीफिकेशन, वो
As accurate as an RT-PCR test, which can cost 2,400 rupees, Falooda costs just 500 rupees and takes all of 45 minutes. Now approved by India's top pharma body DCGI, the test promises to be a game changer to flatten the COVID curve.
These young scientists have worked for 4 months to develop a fast and cheaper solution to test for COVID-19. The paper-based test happens to be one-stop solution that would be affordable, with the price would be fixed at around 400 to 500 rupees, other than the tests right now that are costing about 4,000 to 5,000 rupees in the market. And CSIR is hopeful that with further approvals, it will soon be introduced for everybody in the country. With Ashwini Helen, this is Milan Sharma in New Delhi for India Today.
Day after a major Jaish terror plot was foiled by our forces in Jammu and Kashmir's Nagrota, 4 terrorists, were gunned down. Army Chief General Mukund Naravne has said that the forces' action was a clear message for Pakistan and that terrorists and that infiltrators won't survive. The Army Chief said that whosoever crosses the line of control to infiltrate into India will be dealt with in the same manner and would not be able to go back. The Army Chief heaped praise on our troops who carried out the operation against terrorists who were hiding in a truck. He said that there was a great deal of synergy between the Army, the Jammu and Kashmir Police, as well as paramilitary troops in Jammu and Kashmir. Remember that yesterday, 4 heavily armed terrorists travelling in a truck were shot dead at Nagrota on the Srinagar-Jammu highway. The terrorists were planning to disrupt the upcoming District Development Council elections in Kashmir.
A big win for security forces. Four Pakistan-based Jaish-e-Mohammed terrorists killed in a dramatic early morning encounter near a toll plaza in Jammu's Nagrota. The fierce encounter on the Jammu-Srinagar highway, caught on camera, showed the exchange of fire and forces blowing up the truck carrying the terrorists.
जैसे मोहम्मद का ग्रुप है, बहुत बड़ा असला और मिशन लेके जो कश्मीर की तरफ जा रहा था, कोई बड़ी आतंकी कार्रवाई प्लान करके उसको एग्जीक्यूट करने के लिए जो कश्मीर की तरफ रवाना थे.
A huge consignment of weapons and explosives, including AK-47 rifles, grenades and RDX were found from the slain terrorists, apart from Pakistan-made medicines.
A large quantity of arms and ammunition has been recovered, which includes 11 AK-47 rifles, 3 pistols, 29 grenades. Besides the grenades and ammunition which was fired at us, we have also recovered incriminating documents and material which we are investigating.
Here near the Bund Toll Plaza, you can see the extent of damage that has taken place. You can see the splinter marks, the bullet marks. So you can see that in the morning when that fierce encounter broke out, there was total chaos here. But the alert security forces here at the Bund Toll Plaza neutralized all 4 terrorists who were hiding inside that truck. This is a big success for the security forces.
The 4 Jaish-e-Mohammed terrorists had infiltrated from Pakistan through the international border in Samba. They were planning major strikes in the valley as per a Pakistani terror plot ahead of the Jammu and Kashmir district elections.
पाकिस्तान बहुत ट्राई कर रहा है इन्फिल्ट्रेशन कराने के लिए और इलेक्शन जो होने वाला है जिसकी तैयारी चल रही है ऑलरेडी डिस्टर्ब करने के लिए.
Possible links of the slain terrorists to the 2 recently arrested Jaish-e-Mohammed men in Delhi is being investigated. Unable to infiltrate due to strong security grids on the line of control, the Jaish-e-Mohammed is now eyeing the international border in Punjab to Jammu. With Sunil G. Bhatt in Nagrota, Bureau Report, India Today.
No let-up in the blood politics in Bengal as one more BJP worker was allegedly killed over political rivalry. The BJP is alleged that a TMC worker murdered their party worker in Cooch Behar, triggering massive clashes between the Saffron Party workers and police. All the details in this report.
का खेल खेल करके कोई मत नहीं पा सकता है, ये जरा दीवार पर लिखे हुए शब्द पढ़ लेना।
पॉलिटिक्स करने के लिए कोई आदमी चुनाव पर पहले बहुत सारे बात करते हैं, बहुत सारे बहुत आदमी ले आ सकते हैं, बहुत सारे गुंडा बंद नहीं कर सकते।
5 months to go and it's already proving to be the bloodiest run-up to the Bengal polls, with a slew of political killings and allegations on either sides. In Cooch Behar, a bloody face-off between the West Bengal cops and the BJP cadre ensued. The BJP alleged that their worker, 55-year-old Kala Chand Karmokar, was killed by the TMC cadre, going on to announce a bandh for 12 hours. The BJP workers took to the streets blocking a road. It's then, during the protest, that the police reacted with a lathi charge.
जैसा कि हम पोलिंग बूथ पर कार्यकर्ताओं की टीम बनाकर सशक्त कर रहे हैं, वैसे वैसे पोलिंग बूथ के कार्यकर्ताओं पर टीएमसी के गुंडों ने हमला करना प्रारंभ कर दिया। वे हमारी इस रणनीति को असफल करने देना चाहते हैं। वो डरा रहे हैं कार्यकर्ताओं को। आतंक फैलाने पर हमारे कार्यकर्ता डरने वाले नहीं हैं, झुकने वाले नहीं हैं।
While the BJP claims political killing, the police say that the man died in personal clashes between two groups during Kali Puja.
সেই ক্লাবটা গত 2 বছর ধরে দুটো ক্লাব হয়েছে, ভাগ হয়েছে। গত বছরও ওনারা আলাদা আলাদা পূজা করেছিল, এই বছরও ওনারা আলাদাভাবে দুটো পূজা হয়েছে একটা পাড়ার মধ্যে হয়েছে। গতকাল রাত্রি বিসর্জনও পিসফুলি হয়ে গেছে। আজকে সকালবেলা হঠাৎ করে এই দো ক্লাবে মেম্বারদের মধ্যে এমনি পুরনো একটু বিরোধিতা ছিল, এটা নিয়ে একটু কথা কাটাকাটি হয়।
The battle lines are drawn, the BJP riding on the success of Panchayat elections and 18-seat win in general elections 2019. Now entering the Bengal battlefield with the war cry, Ab ki bar, 200 par. Mamata Banerjee reading the present threat, deciding to embark on a 600 rally spree starting 22nd November. A line now drawn in the sand, an epic political duel awaits the incumbent TMC with the challenger BJP, adding heft to the most awaited of hustings in 5 months. Election West Bengal 2021.
Hello everyone, this is Rahul Kamal here. Hope you enjoyed this video. For the latest news and analysis, like and subscribe the India Today YouTube channel and don't forget to press the bell icon to stay updated.